Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
Donald Trump. He is making this race about gender. He is making it about identity. And just yesterday, he referred to you, the highest ranking Jewish American member of our government.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever.
As a proud member of Hamas.
Yeah, I mean...
I want to get your reaction, but also, what do you do with that? Because that makes its way through right-wing media circles.
Yeah, but all different things make their way through right-wing media. Look, it's ridiculous. The lower Donald Trump gets in the polls, the more unhinged he is.
Yes, that is true. Good morning. It is 6 minutes after the hour. I'm Jody Hamilton, sitting in for Stephanie Miller on the Stephanie Miller Show with the lovely and talented Chris Lavoie. 323-410-0458 is the number.
Yes, please call.
Please call, please. Please. We want to talk about a bear.
RFK Jr. and the bear.
It's just, it's the most insane story.
Nothing about his story makes sense.
Right. You had a wonderful rant about it earlier, because it doesn't. He claims that he was falconing.
Which he does. He's invited Stephanie falconing before.
Right.
You know, she's told that story.
Right.
Yeah.
So said he went falconing and he saw this bear cub get hit by a woman in a van in front of him somewhere, and decided to take said bear into his truck.
Right. So he could skin it and butcher it for meat.
Eat it and put it in his fridge.
Right.
And then I guess he forgot that he had dinner plans in the city.
So he took the bear's corpse
So he took the truck with the dead bear.
Presumably had the valet guy
Park the truck. Presumably.
With the dead bear in it.
Right. And then the dinner ran late, according to his story, that he told Roseanne.
And so he no longer had time to take the bear home, skin it, and butcher it for meat.
Because he had to catch a flight or something. Wasn't that it?
Yeah. So he decided to stage the corpse as an accident with his bike?
With a bike.
Was it his bike or was it
a bike? No, it wasn't even
a bike he found on.
No. He did. The bear wasn't even on the bike path. It was inside. It was in the bushes. It wasn't even on the bike path.
Right.
And a runner found it. This was in 2014, and it was reported on at the time.
It made the news.
Yeah, it was a big story, especially locally. It was a big story because at first they thought it might have been a Central Park Zoo bear, but they didn't have any at the time.
Bears aren't you don't find bears in Central Park, do you?
No.
I know you find a lot of critters there, but bears?
No. And so the reason he is now admitted to doing this is because the New Yorker magazine was coming out with an article about it, which has since dropped. And so he wanted to get ahead of it by speaking to, it's the person you call, Roseanne. You always call her when you're trying to clean up a mess.
And I saw the video of him telling Roseanne the story, and Roseanne had a look on her face like she was a little horrified.
Yeah. And CNN this morning, they were just, what the F?
Yeah.
They were horrified by it. Because they initially...
Most sane people are horrified by this story.
Yeah, it's just all of it. The whole idea of it.
I'm horrified that he referred to himself as a redneck.
What? He did.
He's a Kennedy.
Yeah, you're
Kennedys
not a redneck.
aren't rednecks.
No. He is not a redneck. He is a Kennedy.
Right.
Very well off Kennedy.
Yes.
And apparently his cousin, Tatiana Schlossberg, reported on the story when she started working for the Times 10 years ago and had no idea, obviously, that it was her cousin that did this.
Yeah.
It's just...
Because it was a big water cooler story in New York City back then. And they were like, who the hell would do this sort of thing? Now we know. And because they weren't sure whether it had wandered into the park somehow or it was dropped. And they finally did realize, yes, somebody did drop off this animal because it wasn't from the zoo or anything. I ride a bike. You can't kill a bear with a bike.
Not a bicycle.
No, even a bear cub.
Yeah, and it was...
even if I hit a coyote out here, I wouldn't kill it. I would maybe hurt it a little bit.
Yeah, but even then...
Right.
It'd have to be a really small coyote.
Exactly. You can't kill a bear cub with a bike.
No. A motorcycle, perhaps, but not a bicycle.
Right.
And it's just...
And he tried to stage it as a bike accident.
Right. And then
Nothing about this story makes sense.
And we'll talk to... Rude Pundit has some ideas.
Has thoughts.
And he and Noel Castler will be on today.
And they were all at...
Sexy Liberal on New York on Saturday. Apparently.
I saw the photos.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that looked amazing.
It did.
And there was a special appearance at the very end by Dave Foley.
Mm-hmm. He sat next to Rude.
Yes.
And they took pictures together and everything. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That was lucky for everybody that was
there. We're working on a similar kind of cameo
surprises
for Chicago.
Right. We still can't talk about it.
Yeah. There's still a few tickets left and a few VIP tickets left for Chicago. So get them while you can.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's in 2 weeks.
Yes, it is.
And if you can't make it to Chicago, get the pay-per-view.
Right.
Those tickets are on sale right now, and it's just $20.24.
I wonder why it's 2024.
2024. And you can go to sexyliberal.com for all of those tickets.
Yes, for all of those.
And also, don't search for Sexy Liberal tickets on Google, because that will take you to some really sketchy sites.
Yes.
Go to sexyliberal.com. Those are your ticket sites.
Absolutely.
Those are not resale tickets. Those are your legitimate tickets.
Right. Yeah. Because you'll get scalpers and other illegitimate things happening, and then you won't be able to get in.
You want to be able to get in. You
right.
don't want to be denied entry because you got your ticket from a sketchy site.
Exactly.
So,
only
sexyliberal.com.
Absolutely. So, this story is very strange with this bear situation. Mm-hmm. I feel bad for the bear, obviously, and his or her mom was probably very upset when the baby got hit. I mean, my sister, when she lived in Colorado, one time she was on the phone with my mom, and she says, "Oh, Mom, there's a bear in the backyard." Mom says, "Don't go out there." She's like, "I'm not stupid." Right. But it was a baby. It was a cub. It was like 3 of them with their mom,
right.
and she couldn't see the mom. And my mom was like, "Please don't go out there if you can't see the mother, especially." Right. She's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna do that." So I mean, to see a bear in Central Park you would assume it was from a zoo,
right?
Because they don't roam wild in Manhattan.
No.
So it's a really weird story.
It's made even weirder since RFK Jr. told it.
It's just like you said, there was the timeline of it seems
it makes no sense because he put the bear in the back of his truck so he could go to dinner, and then catch a flight. But in between dinner and catching the flight, he was going to go home, skin it, butcher it for meat, and get rid of the rest of it.
Of the carcass, yes.
Right. But dinner ran long? How long was it going to take for him to butcher that bear? Shorter than the amount of time that dinner ran long?
Obviously he knew he had a flight to catch. He knew he had dinner plans. Right. So none of this, it's all very...
The timeline just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. So he will not be president.
This is weird.
It's weird.
It's all so weird.
It's weird. It is. He's weird. The Republicans everybody's weird except for the weird people like us.
Yes.
We're the less weird of everything. It is. It's very odd. I mean, Rude Pundit has some thoughts. Yeah. Very funny thoughts.
Normal people don't act this way.
No. And I don't care how eccentric you are if you're a Kennedy, but it's not right.
Right.
I mean, does he often skin bears?
Well, I mean, if you go hunting for bears, it's a legitimate activity. You skin it for bear fur.
Right.
You use what you've killed for meat.
I would hope.
Yes, that's classically what's done in hunting.
Yeah.
And so I'm not. I'm not faulting him for wanting to go home and skin it and use the meat and whatever.
Right.
But the timeline doesn't make sense.
No. It doesn't. And he had enough time to pull over somewhere near the park, park his truck, drag this couple 100-pound bear, probably.
I don't know how much bear cubs weigh.
At least 100 pounds. I mean, even the baby. It looked like it was a baby, but not, it was like maybe a year old, if that old. Okay. Maybe not even that old. It was a baby. But they're big.
I haven't been around bears enough to know what.
They're big. I mean, it's, a bear cub is not... teeny tiny little. It was a big. You could see the photos for the news broadcast at the time. Yeah, and it was a relatively large baby bear.
Okay,
so it had to have weighed a minimum of 100 pounds.
Okay,
and so he had to lug it and then get it into the bushes with nobody seeing him.
Thanks to Big Pharma, he has superhuman strength
and brainworms. He's got brainworms. Was this when the worm was in his brain? Didn't he say it was like 10 years ago he found a worm in his brain?
I have no idea that timeline either.
Well, it's the top line story right now everywhere is this weirdness about it.
Yeah.
And it's it makes no sense at all.
No.
And the New Yorker finally uncovering it. How did they figure it out?
I have no idea. I'm sure it was top of mind 10 years ago, and I'm sure it's a mystery that someone has been thinking about ever since then, and they finally cracked it.
He admitted to it.
Right.
But somebody
because the New York story was going to come out.
Right. And it is funny that his own cousin, she's JFK's granddaughter.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, I had no idea. She's like, I'm just as surprised as you guys are. And she reported on it at the time because she was brand new at the Times. So, yeah, it's just very, it's weird.
It is.
It's weird. Yeah. People on CNN, the looks on their faces was hilarious this morning. And Morning Joe went off on it.
I just got a text from the Rude Pundit. Mm-hmm. He said the bear weighed 44 pounds.
44 pounds. Thank you, Rude.
So that is something that he could conceivably
lift
into
my dog weighed 40 pounds.
Yes.
So, yeah, I could.
Yeah, one of the big plates at a gym is 45 pounds. So that I could, yes.
He can lift that.
Yes.
I mean, if I could lift my 50-pound dog, he could probably lift a 44-pound bear. Right. Thank you, Rude Pundit, for that Cub reporting.
Yes.
On the Cub.
Reporting.
See, get it?
Cub. and we'll be talking to him in 15 minutes.
Yes, we will. He's at the bottom of the hour. And the third hour, we have Noel Castler for the hour.
Yes.
And so we're gonna,
he was on stage as Sexy Liberal as well.
He was. It was a cast of thousands.
It was.
I looked at that panel, the picture. I'm like, wow, that is a lot of people.
Yeah.